afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Big Idea podcast. Today, we're fortunate to have a guest that just put up with me for a few days. She's probably got a few stories that she's going to be able to share. Riley Sorrell from Dealer Product Solutions. I had the pleasure, the fortunate of having Riley up in Connecticut traveling with me this week. And boy, I got to tell you, when you find a pro, you try to keep that pro. And I've had a lot of people travel with me over the years. And Riley, what a refreshing person to have come to your market, bring instant credibility, instant value. So Riley, thank you. Thank you for this week. And 30 episodes ago, I did find out the hard way that Riley was doing business in my market. So pretty funny story. And collectively now today, I'm very fortunate to call Riley my buddy. And we're going to put some business on together. So thank you, Riley, for coming this week.
Hey, Riley, before we get started, I just wanted all the live fans to know that Facebook is doing it to us again. So Facebook is down. If you're on LinkedIn and you're seeing this live, go over to Facebook and say we're live on LinkedIn and YouTube. Sorry about that. That's just the way it is.
Thank you for the technical advice.
Well, thank you guys
Riley.
for coming back. I'm very appreciative. This little relationship started, 6-7 months ago with the three of us. Known Mike for a few years longer than that, but this whole thing has come together pretty recently, and I'm loving every part of it. So thank you guys.
Yeah, no, Riley, just a little bit. We caught at the end of the our visit. Can you just talk quickly about Recover and ag? I just needed to hear, we had one visit, and can you just talk quickly about that relationship?
Sure. So some of y'all might know we specialize in a wireless theft recovery device. So it was started in the Mannheim Auto Group about 17-ish years ago, and they needed a solution that wasn't wired and plugged into the cars. Why? Because it was causing battery draw issues, false notifications, check engine lights, and not only that, it took forever to get them installed. 10, 15 minutes a car, you might be popping panels. I have a weird specialty niche in exotics. So it can get a little dicey if you pop a clip. There can be 6-month waiting period before they can fix those panels. So Recover, which is Kandelsky Nagra, they opened up and said, hey, we have a version. It's 100% wireless, and we have all the security measures. So if you look on the market today, you're not going to find encrypted SIM chips and things like that, which brings a little bit of nervousness as far as the consumer goes. I don't want my information getting hacked. So this is a $100 billion cybersecurity company that's backing this device. And that's why I specifically partnered with them about 3 years ago when they came, maybe a little bit longer, when they came to market with this device. So for the agriculture side, we made it a little bit more robust. We added an IP67 case on it to make it, nearly waterproof. And it has a 7-year battery. So these farmers and these types of machinery that goes out and sits, your large construction pieces and things like that, they sit and they're going to get rained on and they're going to get beat up. This is a robust enough device that not only can it take the weather beating, right? We got snow, we got rain, we got all the things, but it can also handle finding your equipment and pieces that don't have things to be able to watch it, your generators and stuff like that. We can slap this device on, they're magnetic, and you're not breaking that off without like a crowbar. So it's pretty intense. We do that for the trucking industry as well. Anything that we can do to protect assets, anything that you need to find and protect and make sure if it gets stolen. I just had a Land Rover. I was telling Gary about it on Monday. They called me the week before. The customer hadn't set up their app and they were worried. because their car was stolen. I said, no problem. Our device is still doing its thing. So all we have to do, turn on your app. She could see exactly where the car was, click the theft button, sent it into theft mode, and then the vehicle was found within the hour, and the police have recovered it. And it was an abandoned building. I showed Gary the picture of that. So that's the thing that I like about it, is that it's fast, it's seamless, and it works. Hey, good morning.
Hey there.
Hey, Larry.
How are you, folks? Sorry I'm a bit late. How are you, Riley?
Good. How are you?
Good to hear you this morning on Automotive Partners.
So
Riley, is that device you just talked about, does that take like portable batteries, or how does that power system?
Yep, everything is self-contained, so it's all the pieces and parts are in its own little module. Have one. It's in its own little module, so the customer, the dealer, nobody has to do anything as far as charging it and all that. So it's all self-contained.
So, Mike, you remember you've been going through when Connecticut said they no longer really wanted the dealers to put the VIN number on the glass throughout Connecticut. They said that it was kind of being deceptive, and then they said you can still sell it, but you have to ask the customer and then put it on after. Well, now you got a little bit of hooey going on. I saw this product on the market with some other people, and I was investigating Recover for me as an upgraded anti-theft. And now with meeting Riley, this company is mammoth. When you would think about, how we wouldn't have lost all of our military in Afghanistan if they had Recover in there. They could have found all of them because maybe they may have even had it. So, when you're moving, equipment for the military, and now it's a perfect auto theft. And now Riley and I said, Riley, do you mind if I stop into one of my stores? She goes, sure. I said, it's John Deere. She goes, oh, we're approved with John Deere. And so John Deere offers, that for their farmers. They're leaving their tractors out in the field. Somebody can come with a flatbed and roll it up. Now you know what's going on. So the more and more I hang around with Riley, the more I'm learning. And I just think that this product's going to take off. And Riley's already proving it with a lot of dealers. So
we launched CarMax, so they alone have 250,000 vehicles. We launched them in 3 days. And then we have like Weiler and Tasca and a bunch of other dealers. So the brand is growing, the information is growing, dealers are liking the ease of getting the devices in and out of the vehicles, so there's not this huge overhead. When you do an install on a vehicle with one of these OBD or hardwired devices, I'm making up numbers, let's say it costs $100. Well, that's $100 on every single vehicle. Whereas ours, same $100, but if you don't sell it, you can grab it and move it to the next vehicle. So you're not out any $100. And unfortunately, these dealers that are running these wired devices, they're averaging about 30% penetration. That's a lot of money they're leaving out on the table, but why? They need it. They need to protect their inventory. They need for their floor plan, for their decrease in their insurance. So it's an actual need, but now we're finding a much better way to solve that problem.
That's awesome. But I'm really how this marriage came together, Larry. It was either Mike or you by inviting Riley. Now, we're both offering United Car Care. She's unbelievable. Larry, you said when she was on last that she's an excellent representative. The follow-up in the emails, the email follow-up with all of our dealers that we met, they're wonderful. They fully explain everything, very organized. So I'm winning in this relationship right now.
She's a woman. They're more organized than we are. We just don't like to admit it.
Women in auto, baby.
boy, it was a present from heaven. So hey, Riley.
gotta say that's reciprocal on my side. So we've traveled for a week last month together. We traveled another week this month together, and then you don't know how it's gonna be until you're quote unquote with them all the time, right? This relationship has been so dynamic and so interesting. I told him, I said, the way that the people, when we walk into a dealership, how open they are with him and how they'll discuss things with him and that relationship that he's truly built as a partner, it is so visually clear. And it makes my job easier because I come in as, hey, this is what we're offering. These are the things. I'm very more analytical, so I can just get down to brass tacks, which is perfect for me. So it's been great. And I got to tell you, like, Gary, the compliments, I tell him this, the most compliments I've ever received in my life have been in 2 weeks. So it's been fantastic.
Well, there's something to be said for clarity and brevity. When I talk to other people and they're trying to get into places, I say, you have to be clear on your message. Riley, I ask people to call me and say, can you help me land a job? Sure. What do you want to do? After 18 minutes, I'm more confused than when they start because they can't say in a sentence, this is what I want to do and this is my skills. Well, it's the same with us. When we get in front of a dealer and it's like we're here and we're there, it's got to be, this is what I do. This is why you need me. This is what it'll cost you. It's got to be brief and it's got to be clear. And you two folks have no problem with being clear. Now, I know you and Gary just hit it off tremendously well. I can see Mike feels left out. Mike, I'll send you a hug via the mail. Don't worry.
No. Send me an emoji hug.
And we get together and we have dinners.
You notice the real guys want a hug, but the tech guys want an emoji hug. We'll talk later.
We've been fortunate that we've had a couple of times where the three of us, where we broke bread, we've hung out. It's great. So to have Mike close, and this is how you build your family. The people you hang around with, then you're all working for a common goal.
Hey Riley, I'm gonna be shooting more Larry talks. We think it's going to be the second week of December. So if you would like to join us, we'll get you on some videos. We have a really cool guy that does my videos, and I like to bang out 16, 17 of them in like a couple hours. We always get some in with me and Mike and Gary, and if you're available, we think it's going to be the 10th of December. We'll verify it with you. Boy, it'd be great to get you, or we could even have one where it's just you and Gary too, and get it out there. It can't hurt to have more exposure.
Oh, no, that's awesome. I totally appreciate that.
Riley, you mentioned it, and right away, my first job out of college, real job, was as a lobbyist for the that was the Motor Transport Association of Connecticut, the ATA of the state, for truckers. And I remember Mike Riley, he was my first mentor, and he just had a birthday. And you mentioned that product is for trucks as well. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get in there.
So for transportation, I see a lot of the companies like to have, that integration where they have a camera in there. So they have video, auditory inside the cab to protect their drivers. But what's protecting their asset? So it kind of, it's synergistic, right? We don't want to take away from the protection that they already have. But when they park these trucks overnight or for longer periods of time, nobody's in there. We do have some truckers that sleep in their cabs and things like that. But when they're not in there, there are times. Even the trailers, we can slap this thing on a trailer in these little hidden spaces, and now it's protected. So we do
for a fraction of the cost of what the goods are.
100%.
Yeah, they were stealing. There was a whole big ring, right? They come up and they steal the whole back part. They hook it up and they're gone. So
catalytic converters are still being stolen.
Yep.
Of cars, trucks, you name it.
I mean, everything's getting stolen. You gotta have. It's unbelievable. Boats, yeah.
So for the Cadillac converters, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there was like this weird, cool ripple effect. You throw a rock in a pond, you expect it to sink, but you don't realize how the ripple expands. So with Recover, they steal my car, I'm going to find it. Well, the accelerometer, we have come to find out, is so sensitive that if they jostle the car enough and they're trying to steal rims or the catalytic converters, we're getting movement alerts. So the dealer will get 2-3 movement alerts. It never left the boundaries. They're like, what's going on? They can turn on their cameras and they can literally watch the thieves on their ground, have the PD there before they've even walked away. So it's really cool.
Now that's awesome, because I went down the rabbit hole of trying to build a catalytic converter anti-theft, where you put the VIN number on the catalytic converter, and then you write a policy.
Yeah.
But boy, that was a dud on my end, because I thought that I was ahead of the curve and that we were going to write catalytic converter. I got one store in Connecticut writing the policy still. That's very funny, but that makes perfect sense. And another great reason of why Recover. Wow, we just got another good one.
Keep talking, Riley. Keep talking.
I'm honestly super impressed with that company because they have a huge backing behind them. But when you come into the world of corporate, I have noticed, and this is totally Riley's opinion. I have noticed when we make a suggestion, it's like, yeah, we'll look at it in 6 months. But when we make a suggestion at this company, the keys became because of CarMax. So we made a suggestion. We're like, hey, man, we're losing keys left and right. And we're paying stupid money every month because of during the install. The install, we need a key so we can put it into the car, right? But we can't find the keys. And then as soon as you go cut the next key, what magically appears? The missing.
Yeah. We know.
So they were like, okay, well, let's figure out a solution for that. So they came up with a GPS for keys. Then they wanted to protect the identity for the dealership. You're writing paper that might be a little, I don't know what's going on. You want to verify out of state, whatnot. So they created a bundle for the dealer. Everything that they do is based off what we say. And again, this device has only been out like 3.5 years. And we've already brought out 3 products specifically for the dealer's needs. I'm so thrilled.
Once again, we're back to brevity. I like the fact that they move quickly. Because you're right, usually bureaucracy is the enemy of any progress.
Well, and let me jump in on the beauty of having United Car Care as an administration company. I mean, we've worked for good companies and we work for other companies. And when you want to talk about a company that is focused on what's important, we're right on the money with United Car Care. So from senior management down and the moves that they're making, I mean, because I've always been a fan of Armor All, and now with that team, we just have such resources behind us. And the thing is that what we continue with is that all of our partners, the business is built on integrity and trust, and that their product does what it says, and there's no hooey, and it's just pure. So I'm feeling really good about where we're going and staying the course, because the survival, do it the right way and stay, and the rest of them move in another direction. So
to piggyback off you, Gary, so we've been running around stores together. Again, we've just finished a week up there together. And the one thing that we're running into, every single dealership that we're going into, I haven't seen my rep since yada yada. Oh, the last time I saw that guy was
Riley. Maybe they're in witness protection program. Anybody in trouble here?
I won't say names. But that's the problem, right? People got comfortable during COVID, and then they just disappeared. I wasn't raised that way in this business. I'm at Service Drive helping out with the claims. I'm teaching them how to write a claim. I'm teaching them what needs to get done. Every service writer has my cell phone number. If that claim goes more than 24 hours, call me. Get me involved. Let me be your advocate. And when we were going around together, the dealers are seeing that difference, and they're starving for it. We have to get back to our roots as vendor partners.
Okay, but which one was the funniest that you want to share? Because we had like 3 or 4 really, and I it could go to belly laughing depending on how Riley says it. So there was a few situations that she would have chosen not to be involved in. You got a good one for everybody to share?
Go on, bro.
Yeah, I guess so. There's just different things when you explain to somebody who takes their job very passionately. And, I'm big on compliance. Gary's big on compliance. So we're trying to educate them that maybe the information that they had may be outdated or needs a little facelift. And Gary said it very straightforward, no sugar. And the person who we spoke to got extremely defensive. But why? Because they were very passionate about how they present, how great they are at disclosures and explaining it to their customers. So if their agent, whoever that was, didn't update them on that, and now you've got some other people coming in saying this, he was extremely defensive. And I joked because back when I was in the restaurant industry, I had a manager, he's a Marine, but he would get so excited when we would I worked for TGI Fridays, we get these receipts where the customers had to fill out their expectations and how the thing went, how the visit was. So he would get this little receipt and his little binder, and he would get all excited, and he'd be like walking. And I come back, and I'm like, you're like a peacock. And he was so offended. And I was like, no, it's like you got your feathers out, you're all excited, you're proud. It's not a negative thing. I didn't think it was a negative thing. So I saw the inverse of the peacock, right? So this guy is like all feathers, and he's all showing us all the things. But why? Why? Because he is that rare breed. He is that guy that really wants to do right by his customers. And he really wants to share information and correct information. So yes, he was taken back, but he appreciated it. He ended up calling Gary. He sent me an email. And why? Do you know why? Because he double fact checked us. He reached out to that company to say, hey, did something change? Did something happen? And I haven't heard back from him regarding that, but this is just like a day ago. But yeah, this is so cool to see. But yeah, I was laughing because all I could picture in my mind was like a peacock and all his feathers.
And Mike, classic meathead man puffing out their chest. I hit him with just a blatant, you're misleading your customers, and he took that as a serious insult, and he wasn't backing down. And he's a good guy. I know him for a long time. It's funny, but I think we surfaced we surfaced what we were attempting to do.
Well, Larry, I consider you our as our 3-0 wordsmith, and you didn't comment, and I think you were a little bit late, but Gary did in fact say Huey twice.
Hooey,
not Huey. Huey was one of the ducks. Huey is Hooi. Yes. I was more focusing on renaming the segment. Meatheads. And
what's your inner moron demons right?
There we go. Hey, Riley, we usually try to keep this concise so more people will see it. We're sneaking up on the time. Obviously, if they want to reach you, you've got your information there. They can certainly reach out to Gary. It's very refreshing to see people that have the enthusiasm, what you recognized in the guy that you termed a peacock. You have it. Gary has it. Michael has it. I have it. It's good to see people that are excited to get up in the morning and can't wait to introduce what they're doing, because without empathy and enthusiasm, we really don't have much to offer people.
You're right. So Larry, Mike, I know we're all part of the same meat and potatoes kind of people. So I'm going to do a shameless plug for the APA, which is exactly what we're doing, right? So the Automotive Partners Association, they're people like you and me that have one goal in mind: protect the dealer, protect the customer. So yeah, I'm so happy to be a part of all these organizations.
And that's every Friday. That's every a Friday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard, 7 a.m. Central Standard.
You got to mention the 7 a.m. Central for Tony T.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but here
That's the best time zone in the world.
let me add to this. What Riley is doing with her peers, with women in automotive, is awesome. We met a lot of really powerful women when we were out, and they're the future because they do things right the first time, and they're passionate about what they do. So I really, with all the things, with the veterans, with the vets for canines, for dogs, these are all good things, and these are all great to be a part of. And
the organizations you want to for those watching you want to keep an eye out for the APA, Automotive Partners Association. You find us on Facebook and Clubhouse. Veterans in Automotive, that's spearheaded by Katie, who is a veteran. And we're trying to help vets get jobs in automotive and why that's appropriate and how much of a need it is for both sides. And then women in automotive. I mean, that says its own. And
Riley, we need to have a conversation. I'm getting involved in a big program with the government to really expand helping veterans get jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
But for women in automotive, for those that are watching and they are not a woman, we need you too. Because you guys can learn from us and we can learn from you, and we can also be advocates for each other. So we don't feel that it's alienating either gender, because no, that's the opposite of what we're trying to do.
No problem. And Michael, why don't we set something up after the new year and get Riley back in and hear some more progress reports, because we love talking to you. And
we already talked about part 3.
Okay. Cool.
That's wonderful.
All right, Riley,
thank you guys.
We can't thank you enough, and I'm so proud of the work you and Gary are doing together. Just keep up the great work, and everybody stay healthy, and everybody have a great, healthy, and happy Thanksgiving next week.
You as well.
Thanks, Riley. It was great seeing you. Great having you in Connecticut.
Thanks, you too.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Later.
All right.